Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wired for Wonder. My name is Lori Kirkland, and we're on the podcast where we talk to futurists and leaders who are thinking differently about AI and how we can actually help humanity in the workplace as we go forward. I'm excited today to be joined by Dr. Sergio Sanchez, who is the CIO and CTO of Coleman Health Services. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Lori. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor to be in your podcast, and I'm ready to answer any questions that you
Well,
have.
let's start out. We were getting ready to hit the record button, and something that came up was that Dr. Sergio saw my hat behind me that says "Stay Human," and right, I'm a big lover of humanity in all of our craziness, and so I just want to hear from you. Why don't you share with us what is it that you think of when you see the term "Stay Human"?
Well, right now, something that caused me this feeling when I see your hat in the back, "Stay Human," is a perfect timing for that hat. With the hype that we have right now about artificial intelligence everywhere, stay human is extremely important. And with that in mind, I have to tell you that a lot of people has come to me and asked me, is my job secure? Is a computer or a robot coming to remove me? And I can tell you that at this moment, no. At this moment, humanity is still the lead. But it's going to be jobs that will change, and jobs that are going to be, yes, taken by AI. All the repetitive jobs, all the data entry jobs probably will suffer. So that is going to put us in a situation where we will have to learn new skills. And
Yes.
companies will have to start thinking about that, thinking about giving the employees, sorry, new tools. People are not going to lose jobs right now to, again, robots or computers. They are going to be losing jobs to people that knows how to use AI.
Yes,
That is the
AI
important part
augmented.
here.
People who are AI augmented are the ones who are going to be leading the future. Uh, People who are waiting for someone to tell them, whether it's their boss or a computer, waiting for them to tell them what to do, that is going to be, those jobs are going to start, being taken over by robots, right? Because
Correct.
they're pretty mundane work that most humans don't like to do anyways, right? And so it's
Absolutely.
going to be being able to get rid of some of that. But you bring up a good point, and this is actually where DeepHumanX really focuses with, really any size organization, which is in the upskilling of people, right? We believe that it's going to be around using the skills that only humans have to actually create beautiful new things that have not been created before, and that looks like creativity, innovation, deep thinking, right? Complex emotional ability to comprehend, to solve problems. When I say that, what you have any examples in your world where you have seen kind of that type of thinking needed?
Well, yeah, every day. And now again, AI is like this person that when you open the door of your house, he or she is already sit down at your table.
Yes.
You
Oh, I
didn't
love that
invite
analogy.
it, but it's already there. And as you can see, AI is being pushed everywhere. You open Microsoft Office products, and Copilot is right there. You open your browser and you go to Chrome, and Gemini is right there. And ChatGPT is basically everywhere. So it's going to be there one way or another. And we are exactly in the time where we are at the border of that. We are basically I will says, the new pioneers of that.
Yes.
Now, think about this. Our kids or grandkids will grow up with AI,
Hmm.
just like we grow up with, the light switch. A lot of people doesn't have idea how the light switch work, but every day you use it. The same way will be with the new generation of kids. AI is there, always has been there. I know how to use it. I just don't know how it works, but it's there.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, our approach of how we do things has to change too. When I was younger and I was, I don't know, in high school, I wasn't allowed to get my calculator out for my, homework or my test. And then calculators were everywhere. I remember even I have a Casio watch with a calculator.
Woo!
Remember that time? Well, funny part here is the
The
teachers now
fancy
they
one.
have to create tests or exams where it wasn't important for kids to use a calculator, but the important part is how do you use the calculator? And even like that with a calculator, a lot of people was flunking. So,
I mean, people were afraid, nobody's going to think, and that fear is still out there. I just
exactly.
last night was talking to someone who was like, isn't everybody going to become dumb? And after, because they're not going to be thinking. And I'm kind of like, well, we've got some of that already going on in society with social media. However, when you were talking, it reminded me of much like you, right? When I was a kid, I remember like a young kid going to the library and getting an encyclopedia to check out and being
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I have so much power in this like book. I'm so glad I got the E for elephant volume and look what else I can learn. And I
Yes.
think what people are missing is that like, just like the calculator, AI is just like having access to knowledge, but it does nothing. It's just a tool. It does nothing if you're not thinking about it. But how AI is different is unlike the one encyclopedia that I was allowed to check out, maybe two if my mom would let me, or the library would let me. Kids today have access to the equivalent of, and any of us do, the knowledge in like 52 million volumes of encyclopedias,
In the
right?
size of
Yes,
a
it
box, a
is.
little box, all the knowledge of the world is here. The funny part here is we need to teach our kids, our new generations, actually everybody, what is the truth, what is fact, and what is
Hmm.
misinformation. That is the thing that we need to teach. And sadly, AI can be used for amazing, wonderful things, new tools. I mean,
Yeah.
I make music and I can,
Mm.
even knocking the door, I'm off key. But with AI, now I can make songs.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So AI has been level the playing, but also is leveling the playing for sadly criminals.
It is. Yes.
But that is one of the fears that come to my mind, working in any company is the threat actors, how they are going to use AI or how they are already using AI.
Yeah.
Stan Altman, the creator of OpenAI, he says that he was scared of three things with AI. The first one is like a super villain, just like the ones in the movie, take possession of AI. The bad guys.
Yep.
Second one, he is worried that is, and he thinks that it's a very far fetched. Could be something like Skynet and Terminator. And the third one is something that, if you think about it, also is worrisome. That when ChatGPT 10 or 11 come out, people in high places start to basically depend of their choices, mostly in ChatGPT or AI in general. So our AI is going to become also our overlord.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
that
it's funny. Like we are this like existential question, I think, for humanity in general. And if you look like, I love anthropology and philosophy and looking at like how people have changed through the years. And if you look, like we have all the signs of we are in the midst of a big change, right? not only AI, but like you've got the earth is changing, you've got political divide, you've got people divide, you've got polarity. Those are all symbols of, right, something in our society is not working anymore, which
It
is,
changed.
if we think
Yeah.
about it, it's the society that you and I made. And when I think about those three fears, I think those are all rational fears, but I also think that in our society, we've been focusing so much on what could go wrong. And we have this like almost potential fresh start with AI to say, well, what could go right? Right. If everybody's looking at the bad actors, the threat actors who are going on, right? And we're only looking at what could go wrong. That's the information we're putting into AI and starting to feed it with our own human fears of, is
Correct.
AI going to take over? Is it going to be sentient? Is it going to decide that humanity isn't
Is
worth
the
it
problem.
and destroy is bad? But we also have the ability to look at it like, man, how do we cure cancer, right? With this, how do I start tackling the problems in my life? Like I had a interesting question with a mom last night. I was playing mahjong with a group of ladies. It was so fun, and just playing a game. And it was, she was worried about like, will kids be able to think and move forward? And I was like, yes, you can actually help solve current problems that you have by just looking at like, what are small pain points you have in your life, like dealing with insurance companies or dealing with like, I got a summons for jury duty, right? The things that you don't want to deal with that maybe cause you pain, like those are opportunities to say, hey, if I have to deal with my insurance company, how do I say all the things so that they don't give me a back and forth paper process to get the approval I need? Right? Like that's a positive way to use humanity and to also potentially fix and disrupt some of the systems that may not be working, like insurance. So I love your thought or sharing those three things on what could happen wrong, but like what could also happen could be really amazing
Yeah.
if we lean into like what is important for the survival of humanity. Is it fixing everything that could go wrong, or is it building systems that are way more fun than the bad actors want to play in?
Well, to make something easier for you and put your mind a little bit at ease, we are repeating this before. We have a cycle. In the 1800s, in the 1800 was the Industrial Revolution, starting mostly in England with the creation of the steam engine.
Hmm.
At that time, was a lot of people working basically in looms. They were people creating, clothing and textures via, their own hands. With the creation of the steam engine, some of those machines became automatic, and people start to freak out. Start even some of them in London start to destroy these machines, thinking that they were going to, take their jobs. Uh, Luddites was the name of the group that attack this
That's so
machine.
funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I can see it. It's
Well,
it's kind of happening right now. People are like,
but,
no, 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 no
it's,
AI. Like,
but
no.
think about this. Yes, a lot of those people lost their jobs because meanwhile they were able to make, pieces of, canvas in a week. These machines were able to do it in one day. So from the economic point of view, was better to have the machines that have humans, with the exception of the creation of new jobs.
Yes.
You never, in the 1800s, the concept of, well, he is a mechanical engineer. What the heck is that? And they were created. Think about this. In the 1990s, we never hear about, hey, I want to be a YouTuber, or I
Right?
will be, or I will be an influencer. Like, what the heck is that? So think about it. That has changed. The same way is happening now again.
Mhm.
So this is comparable to the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah. I love that you brought that up because I've been noodling a lot with is part of the struggle with AI is that AI is giving us insight that what worked, like the factory mindset, what worked for the industrial revolution, we as humans have been so successful that we've scaled to right from a factory to make global organizations that have all scaled. But with AI, that factory metaphor is no longer, it's the system isn't big enough for us to hold, right? Because in the factory setting, it's standardization. It's right. You have a very predictive, linear process with an outcome of whatever product it is. Like we talked about, whether it's garments, whether it's pieces of canvas, whether it's a car, right? Whether it's an automotive or a train engine. But AI is kind of saying, hey, we can do all that automatically. So where I am getting this like inkling is that we as leaders and people have to start actually not thinking of ourselves in a factory. We need to actually shift our paradigm to start thinking of us more of ourselves more as like in a harbor, right? So where what was once the factories now become the boats, right? So the boats, instead of just moving forward, they now have to start learning to pay attention to what other boats are coming and going, right? How am I going to interact and communicate with how can I still move freely because AI is like a tide. The tide is changing. So it's lifting what was once a very safe, boat and worked fine. If AI is changing, you got to think about making sure that your boat survives differently. You got to think about how are you working with other businesses and companies. And as leaders, you also have to be thinking about where's the safe place for people to dock? Where is the lighthouse going to shine? What's the most important thing right now, right? And it does mean for many leaders getting off of the boat and looking at the whole harbor, right? So when I share that analogy, I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I wonder if that like rings true to you at all, or if that feels, if you understand what I'm saying there.
Well, let me tell you, this analogy also make me think about back again to the Industrial Revolution. If you are familiar with the show, what was Downton Abbey,
Yeah.
is basically a show that portray how these rich, noble people in England are suffering terrible because all the employees are leaving. So now nobody is making my cookies, my tea. Nobody is dressing me. Nobody is attending the house because now they are moving to the city to work in these things called factories. So now you have a couple things there. You have moving people from farms and the countryside to cities. So all the farmers, or most of the farmers, became the factory workers. And those factory workers created what is now the middle class. So as you can see, that changed completely. And those middle class, now they don't live far away in the suburbs. They live now in big cities. The same way is going to change things.
Oh, I love that analogy, kind of from farm to factory, and then maybe harbor. We'll see. But there is definitely, that is a really good analogy to look at. Like humanity is not going away, right? Like I have faith that we as humanity, we will figure this out. We always do, right?
Yeah.
Or we'll be gone and we won't know it. So there's not a lot of reason to, focus on that. But I love that analogy of very concretely. It's just that we're moving paradigms, right? What was once stops working when there becomes something that's more advantageous for more people and bring greater benefit to all of society, right? And we're in that mode again. And that's where I love the human aspect of this is we as people, when you're talking about moving to a new paradigm, like we get to decide what we value, right? Like when you're building something new, some things are going to go away, but there's also going to be able to be more focus on areas, right, that are more beneficial. I just think of AI and like, can we cure cancer with it? Right?
Let me take it from there. Today, when you go to the doctor, and again, this is coming from my medical career. I'm a general surgeon by the University of Mexico. But I'm going to make my friends a little bit upset about this. When a patient go to see a doctor, we are expecting a couple things. One thing is we expect the doctor is a great doctor that was top of the school, that was a great student. Number one. Number two, we're expecting that he has or she has experience with the problems that I have, that he has or she has the cases like mine every day. Three, that he's accurate or she is accurate in that diagnosis. We expect all that in a doctor. So basically, we're crossing our fingers that that doctor is giving me the
Yeah.
correct prescription or treatment. Okay. A lot of doctors, we fail in diagnosis. Sometimes, like, we think is this because I think I saw that in a book long ago when I was in school. Or sometimes we're also biased.
Yep.
In like, I've been treating patients for this, so it must be this, even before you talk. You understand?
Yep.
Imagine how wonderful if you have a computer or you have the cloud with all the information about medicine. And I'm talking about from the old Greeks
Yeah.
up to date, with every single country, every single doctor in planet Earth. And then every single X-ray, MRI, CAT scan, echocardiogram, electrocardiogram, uh, everything in one place. Probably the probability that that computer, that AI give you a more accurate diagnosis is higher than any human. That
Right.
is the great thing. The problem there is I will be worried that very good doctors start just to talking with the patient, writing down in the AI, and just without thinking, passing the information of AI to the patient. We still be humans. And one of the examples that I put here too about AI is this. Imagine for 1 second that AI is a little 10 years old kid. Okay? This kid is brilliant. His memory is identity memory. He whatever he see, he remembers to the detail. So you go with him and says, hey, I'm going to give you every single book about science, all the books, all the knowledge of the world of science. You have 1 week to read them all, and I will come back in a week and ask you one question. Okay? So you give all the information, the kid learn everything. You come back to him next week and you ask him, okay, can you tell me what is the speed of light? And he will tell you, well, the speed of light in the vacuum is 300,000 meters per second. Great, excellent. Now, you erase the memory of the kid. Start from scratch. But instead of giving him all the books about science, you give him all the books, fantasy books and
Mm.
novels. The Lord of the Ring, Harry Potter, Peter Pan, Cinderella, all those books. The Green Brothers, all those books.
Love it.
And you come back again in 1 week and ask him, okay, can you tell me what is the speed of light? And he probably will say something like, well, Tinkerbell, the fairy little girl from Peter Pan, will fly from flower to flower in 3 seconds. And that probably also is a right question with the information that you fed that kid before.
Yeah.
The thing about being human and our responsibility is to know exactly what to ask and what more or less answer we are expecting. So we still need to know at least the basic of everything. So that is the thing that I believe humans' responsibility is still be part
You
of working
are
with AI.
you just illustrated something that we believe deeply. It's AI augmented, human enhanced, and purpose driven, right? Like if you use AI to do your thinking for you, look, you do have access. What it can do is help you think further into a diagnosis or a question. But you highlighted something that's really important, and it's something that's unique to humans, which is our storytelling ability. So we can shift perspectives, and we do every day in our lives, right? Like we can shift perspectives to look at the same situation with different lenses. And that's one of the beautiful things about humanity, right? Is we can become empathetic to, you can be in a whole room full of people and you can feel empathy for every one of them as well as the collective. So I love that analogy of it is how you're looking at it, the things that, the information, how you're using that information. And then the thing that really stood out to me was that you said the questions that we're asking, right? That is something that's changing. If you're a leader out there and you're like, I'm not even sure, where to start, the first place to start, my recommendation is start asking different questions, right? No matter, even if you think it feels like it's the same way, ask the same question in different ways so that you start getting different perspectives, really on any topic. And that's with AI, that's with your team, but that's where we're at is when we're shifting paradigms is we have to start thinking and learning new tools. We have to start thinking a little bit differently, and the easiest way for you to grasp it is to start seeing what are other points of views that I'm not thinking of, because it's not black and white, right? That's
Mhm.
just not how we humans are. Way too complicated and messy for that. Well,
And
I love you. And so, Dr. Sergio, I love the stories. And then you're a medical doctor. He has done crazy work in the Vatican. He's got very, very rich history. If our listeners wanted to reach out to you, where would be a good place for them to connect with you?
so basically, they can email me at dr.sergio.e.sanchez@gmail.com, or they can also search for my podcast. I have two podcasts too, just like you, mostly for people that jokingly I call allergic to technology. So it's
Yes.
very easy, very basic for people that want to know what is, crypto coins, blockchains, that's like a Chinese to me too. So this is for people that they want to know what the talk is happening. And the name of the podcast is Behind the Digital Curtain, just like the Wizard of Oz.
Behind the digital curtain. I love it. I love it. And you
So
guys, he is super fascinating. So I definitely, recommend heading over to see them too. And then my last question for you is, Dr. Sergio, is if you were to give advice for everyone listening out there, what would be the top three human skills that you would advise people to be working on as we go and step into the future of work?
okay, so this is important. You like human, you still, and please keep doing it. You are the judge of every answer that AI is giving you. You are still the judge. You are still the one saying, I don't like that. I like that. This is closer of the answer that I'm looking for. Keep that way. Number two, do not trust everything you see and everything you hear now. Threat actors in my field now, they have videos and audio of people that your family, your bosses, your friends now can be copied with one picture.
Mm,
They can create videos, so stay alert. And number three, keep learning.
mm.
Keep learning, because that is what keep us always afloat. And we are the teachers of AI, no in the opposite direction. So keep
Yes.
it going.
Yeah. Ah, well, good advice. And we really thank you for being on the show today. You are a whole wealth of wisdom and analogies that I think are really so poignant in the marketplace today. So thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you so much.